Hello, my mimics, and welcome back to the Mimic Commentary, episode 63. Gosh, I feel like I started so many episodes in this spot. We're going to continue our journeys through Liurnia. Last time I was here, I got my butt kicked by the by the giant, or the troll, I should say. Last episode, I was trying to evoke who I think Ratigan is as a character. Based on the lines of absolution and forgiveness and vowing his love and things like that. So I hope that came through. We have the puppets besiege us. I think it's supposed to make you think about these puppets, these kind of marionette puppets. I think these models are actually bigger than the actual like the ones in game. And I don't think we investigated what the hell these things are. So, they have faces, mouths, let's see, what can we see from them? Ears and tusks. Anything in the heads? Can't really gain anything from that. There's a few of them. Let's look on the inside here. Oh wait, we already fought these. Yeah, we know what these are. You could see they have like high-tech technology in here. This is very modern. This is that's like a gas tank and piping, and you wouldn't really expect something so modern in a setting like the Lands Between. That's not really, I think, brought up at all, really, how technologically advanced these things are. It's got like a cannon in the mouth. Yeah, they're up over here at the Eastern Tableland. But it's just interesting that the interior is so technologically advanced. He's got kind of coming out of his ears too. What about back here? You can really see the technology here. I was we'll probably get to some of the secret sci-fi elements, ancient technology, things like that. In the future, but I was doing research and I was looking into Kingsfield, which is the original. Who are we gonna summon here? Let's do Oleg. The original, not the original Dark Souls, but it was Fromsoft's first foray into RPGs, I think. Don't quote me on that. They were PlayStation 1 games before Hidetaka Miyazaki came on, but that's where we get things such as the Moonlight Greatsword and Seath. That's where they come from. They come from Kingsfield, and I learned that Kingsfield actually has ancient alien stuff in it. It's just looks like a fantasy world, but there's secret sci-fi. I'll throw on the screen some of that right now. And, the image that I'm thinking of is this essentially these vats with these blonde dragon women in them, and you could see piping in the background. And there's no explanation in game what those are, other than that it's older than the history that people have. So I think that's really cool. He one-shot me? I'm totally ready to get past here. That was that's embarrassing. It's because I don't level Vigor. I refuse to skip combat encounters. We go again. But, we'll be back after I kill the troll. Alright, so we talked about this before, how looks like the Carians, instead of just enslaving trolls, they have them as knights, kind of giving a difference in their culture compared to Godric's folks, and most likely the rest of Erdtree society. This guy has a knight helmet, he has a really nice sword, and he casts fantastical magic associated with the Carian knights. Like that one. There it is. Boom. Holy moly. You know, after learning about the Liurnian Wars, I think it's kind of obvious why Radigan had trouble, because this is what they were up against. There we go, finally. Excellent. While we were fighting, I think I got our first Raya Lucaria item. Gauntlets worn by Raya Lucaria Academy soldiers, rust-worn and stained through unending conflict. So, you know, more confirmation. The Carians and the Academy, not really too friendly with each other. Not really too friendly. Did we, before we continue, let me just check some dialogue. Okay, I just had to confirm. Look at Muriel's dialogue. You know, we know the answers, but I want to make sure we're not using too much prophetic wisdom sometimes. That Muriel says that the Academy rebelled against the Carians, so little love lost there. We don't know why yet. Why would they rebel? What problems do we have with each other? The mystery endures. Hey, we got some ghosts, and I hear that one. I think explodes. Right? Yep. And it's somber. Little mimic stone. A little bit of a mimic stone. In the Raya Lucaria area of the full moon witch area. Word salad. Okay. Here's one of our noble sorcerers. What does he have to say? Raya Lucaria, hallowed hall dedicated to the study of magic. Why shut your doors to me? Am I barred from donning the crown of stone? We learned from Thops that when the war began, they said, no way, Jose. We are staying out of the meddling of the shattering. So that alludes to me, if they're staying out of the meddling of the shattering, when did the Academy rebel against the Carians? Was it during the shattering? If they shut their doors? Or was it before? And if it was before, why was there no assistance from... We know the children for the Carians are Ronnie, Radon, and Rykard. Radon is a general, Rykard is a praetor, Ronnie is the lunar princess. So why didn't... If this occurred during... or before the Academy rebelled, or before the shattering, what am I saying? When was that? We gotta look for information on that. I don't think there is... Oh, jeez. I don't think I've actually... Oh. Well, we'll just ride past everything again. I don't think I've actually, checked... I don't think we have a conclusive answer on when that occurred. I mean, just thinking about it, just thinking about the rebellion, I want to say after, like during the shattering. Like, that seems like the most opportune time, but the Academy's closed. But I guess the soldiers don't need the Academy to be open for them. If that's like the base of operation, they're trying to protect the scholars from within who are rebelling against the Carians. Oh, actually, it makes sense why it'd be the shattering, because we know Renala is in the Academy. And if they close their doors and they're going to war in a rebellion against the Carian royal family, we can think, why wouldn't... Oh, this is just brief. Root resin is tied to the roots here and these trees, so these trees must be tied to the Great Tree Network, even though they're just like little trees. Some crystal buds. Yeah, so if they have Renala as a hostage, that would make sense as to why wouldn't her children come to their aid during the shattering. They might think, the shattering is no Lord arose, so perhaps the idea is that they don't want they maybe, you know, like Radon or Rykard tries to become Elden Lord. They want to get rid of the other demigods first, and then they'll go save their mother after they have, you know, the backing of the rest of the continent behind them. The Academy would just have to fall in line. Or maybe not, you know, probably a hostage. Post-Shattering world, there probably wouldn't be unification anymore if someone was to become Elden Lord. You know, we're in a world where it's a stalemate, but if we could just imagine what this world would look like if, you know, the Tarnished weren't popping up, I could imagine the Academy, you know, the Academy could even become a royal house. The Carians, depending on who becomes Elden Lord, the Carians might lose their land in Liurnia, depending on who it is. Just something to think about. It's very interesting to think about if we think the politics in that way, like a lot of what-if scenarios. I know there's like, I've seen conversations. When are we going to come back? You know, we'll come back this area. You know what we'll do? Maybe we'll do this. So we'll go here, here, back down here, and then up. So we can, what is that? Is that right there? Yeah, maybe we'll do that. Because I want to explore the lake. Get lost in the woods. You know, I see a lot of what-if scenarios, like, oh, what if this guy beat this guy? But, you know, in that video I posted about what everyone gets wrong about Elden Ring, you know, I don't think people think of, like, the political ramifications of, like, Rennala is trapped in the Academy and her children are going to war. What would that mean for them? Like hostage negotiation stuff. And that's probably something that had to be kept in mind for what her children are actually doing and why they go to war. I hadn't really thought about this before, but I think that's an interesting thread to pull. So we'll have to think about that when we think about these characters. So far we're not really thinking about her children, but except for Ronnie and the Knight of Black Knives, but that's Golden Age of the Erdtree. It's long before the Shattering of the Elden Ring. Yeah, that's interesting too. And, oh hey, look who it is. I think we already explored up there. And if we go down this way, is it worth getting the map fragment? I feel like if we get the map fragment, I'm going to want to explore over there. So maybe instead we'll talk here. Then we'll go here, here, here. Yeah, we'll do that. I want to make sure we're pathing well. I don't want to miss stuff. It's our friend Hyetta, who is really Arena, who might be a symbol of a reborn America. She doesn't remember. She doesn't remember that she died. She got blindfolded. She can't really see much. Yeah, we did some theorizing very early in Liurnia that she might be representing maybe reborn America. What's going on in the center of her tassel? Wait, I don't want to do a talk. Oop. That knot. 3 bells, maybe? I don't know if that symbol means anything. Maybe an eye? Maybe that's her third eye, and it's above her heart. And she's waiting for grapes. So let's chat with her.
Hello? Is someone there? Would you donate any Shabriri grapes in your possession to me? I'm on a pilgrimage, in search of the distant light. And when I eat one of those grapes, I can feel the light in the back of my eyes.
No, we don't have any grapes right now. But she's looking for the light, the distant light. I think she talks about the fingers. And that's who is kind of luring her. Did I rest? Yeah, I rested. How do we want to... You know, maybe I should just go back this way. We have the grace. Yeah, so I'm going to start at last gear. Sorry, everybody. We're all over the place. I want to make sure we path well. I don't want to miss things. This last gear, we actually didn't do this on the Mimic commentary because it was one of the lost episodes. I think the issue with this one was I recorded the, what do you call it? I think I recorded game audio instead of microphone audio. Are we going to get a... I want to see, you know, we haven't looked at a Royal Revenant here, so let's see if I can get one. Yeah, okay. You know, just to, you know, this guy shoots poison. We don't know his name yet. Oh, no, we know the Wraith Calling Bell says that they worship the Revenants. And this is actually what we got to look at. Oh, no, they knocked me down. Oh, no. No! I wanted to heal. I should have also leveled up. I have like a full level to use. But you guys aren't going to like what I level up because I'm going to level up intelligence. I'm going to level up intelligence, you know? We're not this is the non-build. We're building towards something. You know, I know what we could do later, you know. I know I could just like actually make a early game build and then we'll level it up and then we'll respec, but you know, we don't know we could do that. All right. I never showed this. I don't know if you guys know that, but healing spells, 2-finger spells, and eventually Bird Tree healing can hurt these ghosts. Look at that. 1,000 damage, instant riposte. That's a lot of power. And these guys drop Grave Violet. I think they're all spirits. I think all of these are spirits. The Wraith Callers. I don't know if we did any, I can't recall because it was a lost episode. I don't know if we did any inspection of these guys, but the Royal Revenants are wearing crowns. These people are wearing circlets, silver kind of crowns. Oh, we can't really see it, but they have, here, hey Oleg. Back to the beyond with you. See you later, buddy. Multiple limbs. Ren of the Witch, the doll, also has 4 limbs. Bracelet on one of the arms, very similar to Marika's. Oh, hey, they're chill. Let's see. There's still a little gold in the eye, so they do have grace. Oh, hey, relax, buddy. Not cool. And we know that they're Wraith Callers, because we have the Wraith Calling Bell. Ooh. Bell used by worshippers of Revenants. Wraiths are said to be vengeful spirits of those who died when cursed. Since those are the Wraith Callers, the Revenant also is probably someone who died when cursed. We don't know what association they have though, but we're finding them in, you know, Moonland. This is Lunar City over here. So perhaps a moon worshipping folk. Which way do we want to go? Oh, you know what? We could, instead of going, let's forward this way. More Wraith Callers. Ooh. Something that way, but we're actually going to go this way. We're going to go up there. I don't know if I inspected all of last year. There's no graveyards over here. You know, we've been associating this type of town with possibly being, you know, Sunrealm, because they usually have graveyards. But there's no graveyards here. And there's also no... I don't think there's any catacombs nearby. The only catacomb we have is Cliff Bottom near the Purified Ruins. Don't think they had a graveyard either. We did have a graveyard by the Church of Irith, though. Definitely Sunrealm over there. Not large enough. I can see you. Whoa. You know, it's interesting. These guys... Is this their spectral steed as well? Very similar to ours? I guess we should check over here. There might be something interesting. Oh, they bleed white, I think I noticed. Definitely spirits. How about you guys? Nah. Okay. You know, I last episode, you know, we did like Night Tears, Hidden Tears, Celestial Dew. I said Radigan washes himself in the tears, and then he goes through like a baptism. Oh, here, this is actually a good spot too, so that's actually interesting. What's going on up here? We have just our demi-humans. Is that a demi-human sleeping? Yeah, it is. Radigan like goes through baptism with the tears, and actually that's, I didn't make the connection when I said it, but we talked about the Kalu Baptismal Church and that they're doing sacred tier like baptism. It's interesting that what he does is also baptism, but with a different type of tier. I didn't really think about that before. And his statues eventually have the same tiers as Marika, which people, I assume, are doing baptism with. So it's interesting how that repeats for him in his life. That's a demi-human chieftain. Oh, excellent. You know, we don't like killing demi-humans, but they shot first. We're also using the rapier here. I wanted to do sword and board, but I really wanted to use like a straight sword. But man, it's tough to freaking upgrade some of your equipment here early game without getting any of those stones yet. Can we? There we go. Oh, so what was I saying? Oh, I think this was supposed to be an ambush. Yeah. You're not gonna fool me though. I ambushed you guys. Okay. I remember. So last episode, I was talking about a little bit of bullying I was receiving, and I wanted to tell like a funny kind of story of one of the people. I had a conversation with them. I think it was in their Discord. It was like very early into me making videos. I was excited to talk to people, you know. And I mentioned something about like, you know, what do you think the tiers represent? And I was like, because there's tiers all over this game. And they're like, well, it's just sap. And I was like, yeah, but like, what do you think it represents? Like, what do you think it means? Who's crying? You know, I like to say who's crying. And it came from like people being like, no, the tiers aren't really tiers. They're dew from the Ur tree, sap from the Ur tree. And I was like, guys, don't we want to, are we trying to analyze what this piece of art means? Why aren't we thinking about what do the tiers supposed to represent? Why is there crying all over the place? I've been replaying Bloodborne for footage, and I need to get, you know, to a specific spot in the game. What I've noticed is it's the first time I've played the game with headphones, and there's so much crying. Like, it's just part of the ambiance. It's insane how much crying is in freaking Bloodborne. It's so creepy. Like, it's disturbing. It's so disturbing. We found our fire monks again, and we got their prayer book. I actually forgot that this was over here. Prayer book of the fire monks who came from the mountaintops of the giants far to the north. And that's where our prophecy is leading us. Can be given to a learned cleric to gain access to the following incantations: O flame, insurge o flame. Yeah, I guess they're Irish, because they're the O. O flame, insurge o flame. Maybe, you know, we'll give it to Corin so he can cry about it, because I like making Corin cry. Oh no. Alright, their eyes crushed out. Briars of Sin. We don't know. Well, I mean, we could just assume from the Shield of the Guilty these are Briars of Sin. What? Oh, this is interesting. Arrows on here. Who are they fighting against? Who? Well, I guess, you know, the fire monks coming from the mountaintops, probably people don't want them here. Do they worship the fire giant? Can we give them a learn cook? Fire monks who came from the mountaintops. Yeah, that's interesting. Do they worship giants? Right? Do we know giants? Mountaintops of the giants, fire monks. We don't know if they're fire giants, but do we know? What do we know about giants? The giants are mortal enemies of the Earth Tree. Their bellowing roars desolate nature, triggered avalanches, and whipped up storms of flame. So most likely, the fire is part of the fire giants. If part of the giants, I shouldn't say fire giants. There's one of his spells. Woo! I haven't really looked at their armor yet. They've got... Let me flip them over. I haven't really inspected these guys. Okay, so let's look at these. They have very ornate, intricate armor. Very ornate, intricate armor. And their breastplate is decorated with a one-eyed monster on it. One eye in the middle. Fangs, horns. What about his face? What's going on with his face here? He's got a red beard. Oh, red hair. Much like Radigan. And a chainmail coif on his head. And then a pendant between the middle. He has kind of blue eyes with a little bit of gold, so his grace. But yeah, the red beard. So from the mountaintops of giants, comes people with red hair. Very similar to Radigan. Very similar to Leonine Misbegotten. Radon has red hair, and Melania also has red hair. Yeah, so whoever made this armor, yeah, very ornate. A lot of money went into this. A lot of resources. Who's making this armor for monks? And why are the monks down here? I guess we're gonna go this way, but let's see if there's anything hidden up here. You know, they like to put stuff in the corners. See out into the Sea of Fog. Is that the Weeping Peninsula there? Looks like it. What's down there? The fog stuff is interesting too. You said I've been doing... Oh, here we go, some bats. I've been doing... like I said, I've been replaying the older games for a Night Rain video. I don't think it's going to come out before Night Rain, but I think it's going to be evergreen. I don't think Night Rain's going to give too much away. Oh, an Arteria Leaf. Think about Arteria Leaves. Think about Radigan. Why is it hidden here with the bats? Maybe it's supposed to relate to like the more animalistic stuff. I don't know. I remember someone, I've told you that someone said when you find Arteria Leaves, think of Radigan. Why are the bats though? It's also hidden, so they wanted us to find it and think about it. Well, it's close to the Fire Monk stuff, so maybe that's the Radigan connection. Fire Monk's red hair, Arteria Leaf is red. That could be it. Yeah, but one of the things, like the Sea of Fog, this is, Traveler from across the fog. They only mention, like, Sea of Fog, like, maybe 2 or 3 times in Elden Ring. But every single one of Miyazaki's games, except for Sekiro, I think. Except for Sekiro, has, like, crossing the fog. In Demon Souls, there's a colorless fog that takes up all of Boletaria, and people are coming from outside of the fog to see what's going on in the ruined kingdom. Dark Souls, the world was unformed, shrouded in gray fog, and shrouded, is it colorless fog? Shrouded in colorless fog and gray crags and landscapes, something like that. There's nightmare fog in Bloodborne, and you see everything gets very foggy when you look at the layers of how the world is built. And then Elden Ring has the Sea of Fog. And if I was to do a combined timeline, I would say that the fog is important and how it separates them. That's neither here nor there. Okay, what do we have here? This guy, what is that, an aristocrat's hat? Yeah, aristocrat. All right, what happened to the aristocrats? Uh-oh. Vulgar militia. Somebody paid them to be here. Paid them to do what? Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. A weapon comprised of a saw blade attached to a long grip, brandished by the vulgar militia. Its serrated edge is very effective at inflicting blood loss. The saw is said to also be used to cut up the bodies to feed the militia. But there's no first-hand witness to confirm the dire rumor. Ooh, okay, all right. So this one's interesting. What else do we have for them? Greaves worn by lean, mean, and filthy militiamen. Freshly sinned battlegrounds effusing with the stench of the dead. Forbidden lands that will be excised from the memory of history. This is where the Vulgar militia serve as untiring, unsung watchkeepers. So, do we have anything else about the Vulgar militia? I think I'm waiting for... So they're all small. I think we don't have the items that talk about their height yet, but this is interesting. When you see something about rumors, you have to think, why are they spreading the rumors? And so they're using these weapons, and they're gruesome weapons, and then people are making rumors about them that they eat people, that these are monsters. Now, if that's the rumor, I don't think it's true. They most likely are not doing that to feed the militia. But someone wants you to think that they are. So there's disdain against the Vulgar militia. You know, they're lean, they're mean, and yeah. But someone paid them to be here to guard this area. And the weapon has Spinning Slash. And you know what we say about Spinning Slash. It's the same move. Spinning Slash is on Dragon Halberd. It's on Dismounter, which is the Caden Sellswords. It's on the Shotal. It's on the Gossamer. It's on the Shamshir, the Scimitar. Many curved weapons and many eternal associated weapons, I would say, have Spinning Slash. The Shamshir and the Dragon Halberd are the big ones. When we did the first time we fought the militiamen, it was at Cliff Bottom Catacombs. Was that a lost episode? That was a lost episode too. I had to do the Black Swordsman. And it's interesting that the Vulgar militia were guarding there, because that is where we found the Nox Mirror Helm. So we know that the Night Mirror Helm, and we know the Eternals are interested in the night. The Eternals are really interested in stars, the night sky, all that jazz. Celestial Dew, they're committed to high treason against and wards off intervention at Greater Will and the Vassal Fingers. So we know that, Marika is at least, the Eternals. Maybe not Marika, but the Eternals, Finger Readers Live Lives Eternal, they're worried about thought crimes against the Greater Will and the Fingers. What else do we have that I want? Oh yeah, the big one was that in the catacombs we find the Omen. We find a lot of books. We find that Premier Helm, but we get the Caden Sellsword Ash and the Page Ashes, making me think that the Eternals are using Caden Sellswords and Pages to influence the mortals by putting mercenaries into specific armies, such as the such as Godric's army. Godric's army is made up of a lot of Caden Sellswords. And we still have to look for pages. The only pages we found so far were in Tombs Ward. So we have to see how that relates to them. Hey. Chill, buddy. Wish I was a little faster, so I can get the second attack off. Yeah, whoever is paying these guys, I think, are associated with the Eternals so far. I mean, I guess they're militia, so they're not mercenaries. So I guess they're just an army that forms. I don't know. Who are they a militia for, I guess, would be the question. I'm just assuming they operate like mercenaries, but I guess they must be working for somebody. Like they're in. Like, they do ambushes. Like, they don't... If someone is walking over here, they're trying to catch them off guard. It's not like the other military forces we see roaming around that are attempting to, expand influence. These guys are hiding. And what were they guarding? Well, it looks like... Oh, I see you. I see you. We got an Everjail. So, the militiamen are here guarding this Everjail. But the lightning bolts of Gwyn, they strike down all that would oppose. Actually, so we're just getting our bearings again. Godwyn the Golden's lightning bolts, most likely. The Dragon Cult. Boom, baby. God, there's so many of them. You do extra damage if they're unaware. Was that 80 extra damage? Alright, any more of these guys? That should be it. What was the, What's the lightning bolt exactly? Godwyn the Golden defeated the ancient dragon Fortisax and befriended his fallen foe, an event that gave rise to the ancient dragon cult in the capital. Godwyn the Golden was the first to die in the Night of the Black Knives, and Lunar Princess Rani orchestrated the Night of the Black Knives. Does him starting a cult for ancient dragons have something to do with Rani doing it? Well, Rani's the Lunar Princess. The ancient dragons are worshipped by Sun Realm. Are we seeing a moon versus the sun ordeal? Well, if we think about the eclipse, I know this is kind of like neither here nor there for what we're doing. We're just thinking out loud. If we think about the eclipse, it's the moon blocking out the sun. So maybe that kind of symbolizes either, I think it could be an alliance or it could be an opposition. It could be an opposition. The moon versus the sun. Okay. Got our Watcher Stones. Our abnormal stone clusters. What are you guys watching? You can hear them humming. Speaking of like that ancient alien stuff, here we go. This is like ancient technology. Unexplainable, really. Malefactor's Everjail. A person who commits a crime or something wrong. I gotta use a dictionary. Alright. Who is in here committing crimes? And is this person here for protection or for punishment? Well, the Vulgar militia is defending this, so let's find out. Adan, a thief of fire. He has the monk hood. He has Smo's armor. He's casting fire monk incantations. Okay, so he is a fire monk who stole fire. When he's flailing around. Oh, he even has the beard. Doesn't look like it's red, though. Oh, yeah. Got that reach. Oh, he hits hard. No! Woo. Oh, my goodness. Okay, what's that spell? He summons, like, the sun? And what does it do? It explodes. Excellent. Cool. Got him. That's some Karian retaliation there. Don't mess with me. Don't mess with me. Flame of the Fell God. A legendary incantation. Okay. So this guy committed a crime and he has the Flame of the Fell God. This legendary incantation is one of several that draws directly from the power of the fire giants. Okay. Fire monks, fire giants. Releases a ball of raging fire said to be inhabited by a fell god. Ooh, so fell, like evil? Like an evil god? Where's Margaret the Fell Omen? The fireball floats towards enemies and explodes, setting the area ablaze. Arganthony, the chief guardian of the flame, had kept this incantation a well-kept secret until it was stolen by Adan. Ah, okay. The Fell God still lurks within the fire giants. Okay, so here is the secret. The Fell God still lurks within the fire giant. But this is interesting. Releases a ball of raging fire said to be inhabited by a Fell God. Flame of the Fell God. So the god is in the fire. Releases a ball of raging fire said to be inhabited by a Fell God. And the Fell God still lurks within the fire giants. So the Fell God is in the fire, and the Fell God is in the fire giants. Does that mean that the Fell God is in the fire, and the fire is in the fire giants? This is interesting because then we think about we're at Blue Dancer, a god that was Ra itself. So the Fell God is fire itself? Is that what that's saying? That moon's bright tonight. Is that what it's saying? That the Fell God is fire? Oh, here we go. Come up here and now we can get an item. Here's what we're going to do. To close out this episode, I'm going to do a little farming off screen. Sacrificial twig. I'm gonna do a little farming off screen in the Tablelands, see if I can get some monk armor, and then we'll reconvene. We'll give the monk fire book to Corin. We'll talk a little bit about the fire monks, and then we'll call it a day. All right, so bear back. Look at this handsome devil. Okay. I said we were going to talk about it, but I'm gonna be honest. I got really tired while farming. It took a little longer than I thought it would be. I got everything but their gauntlets. So, I'm gonna just. Oh, gosh, I really want their gauntlets. Gosh. Okay, I'm gonna try for the full set. And next episode we'll start off talking about the fire giants and the fire monks, and we'll do some of the theorizing there. I think this was a good episode. I think we did a little bit, we moved a little bit. Next episode, fire giants, and then we're gonna go here and then here and talk to a few crazy characters. So next episode we're gonna have fun. We're gonna start with fire giant stuff, fire monk stuff, and then we're gonna do this quest, I think. If not, next episode will just be fire monks, and then we'll do that quest. So a lot of fun stuff. Okay. And then after that, probably Albinoric Village. Yeah. Okay. Liurnia's getting cool, guys. Got a lot of cool stuff. Man, love doing these episodes. Okay. You know the drill. Let's do the thing.